Hey guys, Anthony Ace Michael is back with a special edition of the NBA. I'm not going to go over many games. I'm going to go over teams and what I like, what to expect moving forward. After the All Star break, these 2 weeks are when you can make some money here. The writing's already on the wall with these teams, what they're doing. Just keep an eye on injury reports. It's very easy. Go on the ESPN app. You scroll to go to the game, scroll down, it'll show you the injury reports. Some of these are game time decisions. They usually come out an hour before the game. So as long as you're on it, that's the thing. Just be on it, and you could be pretty consistent. Going back to the Super Bowl, we knew Mahomes. Well, I knew Mahomes. You bet on a winner. If the Chiefs have the ball at the end of the game, they're going to win. If San Francisco has the ball at the end of the game, they're going to lose. That's what I thought. That's kind of what happened. I just stick with winners. Purdy hasn't shown me anything. He's a young guy. I could never pick a guy like that over Patrick Mahomes. It worked out for us this time. We got some extra money. Let's look into the NBA, look at some future plays and things that I'm going to be looking at. Going into the NBA, Boston is one of these teams. They're number one seed. Boston has been the best regular season team the past 2 to 3 years here, 2.5 years. They're a team that wins in the regular season. Now, playoffs is a different story. We'll talk about that. But regular season, they're going to hang on to that one seed. Look for games they're in that are not big point spreads. Maybe they're favored by a few points. Those are games you're going to capitalize on, and you're going to continue to capitalize on them because that team's going to win, and they're going to win consistently. Guess there's not as much pressure, but they do have a 5-game lead over the number one seed West and an 8-game lead over the second place East. So that being said, coming towards the end of the season when there's 4 games left and they're up 5 games, keep an eye on that. Write that down, put an alarm, an alert, whatever you got to do, because you don't want to bet Boston in those games because they're going to rest their guys, get ready for playoffs. Another team is Cleveland. They're number 2 right now. They're going to drop down to number 3, I do believe. We do Milwaukee, Doc Rivers coming into form. Love Milwaukee, what they're doing. They should move ahead and have that 2 seed. So I like Milwaukee going forward in some games, especially in close games where the point spread's fairly close. Try to stay away from those double-digit point spreads. I don't like to take anything 5, 6, 4, 7. I like 3 and under. Those are games I kind of really focus on, and I like to take the money line if they're favorite, take the points if they're the underdogs, and if they're getting 7, getting 10, and you like them, you go with it. But these teams won't ever get that many points ever. So you're going to have to bet them as the favorite usually. But those are things that I'm looking for. New York, of course, they're going to stay right there in the middle. Philadelphia, New York's top player's hurt. Philadelphia's top player hurt. Philadelphia should move down. Indiana's going to move up a little bit. Miami is that team, looking ahead. It's hard to pick games for you guys a week, a few days ahead because of injuries, because of fights that happen with the teams, suspensions, pretending to get hurt and rest players. But looking for teams with trends that are, consistent. The Miami Heat, you have to realize, I would think that they're going to try to move up to the 6th spot. I do see them playing hard each and every day. Injuries are there, but they're a lot more healthy than they were, and they made the NBA Finals last year. They have Jaquez Jr., spectacular rookie. Loved him in UCLA. So happy he went to Miami. They have Terry Rozier. He's hurt. His knee's bummed a little bit. He should be ready for the playoffs. They lost Kyle Lowry. He was a 37-year-old guy. They pick up a 29-year-old guy, Rozier, scorer, passer. This team got better. And yet I look at the odds and I shopped around. I got 42-1 for the NBA championship, and I got 25-1 or 22-1, I think it was. I'm sorry. I seen 18, I seen 16, I seen 10-1. I got 22-1 on the Eastern Conference. Those are ones that I just kind of locked in. It wasn't real huge bets, 100 here, 100 there. But those are things you really got to look for. And when you're betting these future plays, like I tell you to, I'm blue in the face, Again, this is just financial advice on what I'm doing. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm telling you guys to do it, but make 2 bets. I went in and I bet 50, and then it says repeat team, 50 again. So now when your team gets to the finals or anything like that, I'm not saying Miami's the team you're going to bet, but that's a team that I'm going to bet just because they got better and they were in the NBA Finals. So that right there tells me other teams in the East got better too. I do believe an East team will win the NBA Finals this year. And there's a lot of them. There's a lot of good ones out there stacked. I do know that the Boston Celtics are a team that doesn't win in the playoffs when they get pressure. And that's just the way it works. Tatum is a guy that has improved to me, like Lamar Jackson in the NFL, like Allen in the NFL, like who else did we have? There was a third guy I can't think of. But these guys, they haven't proved to me anything. And Tatum is on that same level, even though it's a different sport. He hasn't proved anything to me. So until he could win the big game, they were favored to win the NBA in-season tournament. And they lost to the Pacers. I mean, the Pacers are good, don't get me wrong, and it's a one-game elimination. But if they play the Pacers in a 7-game, they probably lose. But that's not no hate at all. It's just you have to prove to me. I like all the teams equally, except maybe LeBron and the Lakers. But that being said, these are things that I'm going to look for. I'm going to look for Miami to move up to the 6th seed, Cleveland to move down to the 3rd seed, and then Miami could get an easy win in the playoffs there, and then move forward and play. The 2 seed would be Milwaukee Bucks, and we know what they did with the Bucks last time. I don't expect anything different, guys. I mean, there's 2 teams that I think could win the East this year, and it's the Milwaukee Bucks or the Miami Heat. Those are the only 2 teams I could see here making it to the NBA Finals. So those are 2 teams that I have played to make it to the NBA Finals. I play a parlay, the East winner with the West winner. So I took the Milwaukee Bucks, and then I'll go real quick into the West on who I took, and I took the Miami Heat, and I played them with 2 teams, both of these with 2 teams in the West. So let's look at the teams in the West. You have Minnesota and you have OKC tied for first. Neither one of these teams will win the NBA Finals. So those are 2 teams I could throw out right away. They're young. I like both teams a lot. I really liked OKC last year when they were the 6th seed, and they were playing very well. Now they're the 2 seed. I expected that. I expected Minnesota, maybe not the 1 seed, but I expected them to move up, and I expected other teams to move down, which everything's kind of playing out. You got the Denver Nuggets, so that's obviously a team that's going to be hard to beat, but it's really hard to repeat right now, especially when the teams are so close. There's no like Chicago Bulls team or Los Angeles Lakers team that win consistently. These guys are all hit or miss. I hate to say it, but that's why it's really hard for me to bet a favorite going into these playoffs, is because of that. But looking at teams that for the regular season, the rest of the games that are going, I'm going to look for Minnesota to maybe lose a couple more games, maybe big favorites, maybe 10-point favorite, maybe 7-point favorite. Look for them to go on a little bit of a winning streak. They're 20-6 at home, and they're 20-11 on the road. They look very good. They're good in the division, but when they start playing teams out of the division, it's a little bit different. They got 8 losses, and if they play East teams, they lost 9. So look for that to happen. I'm not saying they're going to lose to they're going to lose to athletic teams. So look for teams that are younger players. That's why I really like the East in the All-Star game, because their oldest player was Giannis, and look at how old the West was. No way they could keep up with them, and the West were favorite. That was just mind-blowing to me. I know anything could happen in an All-Star game, but yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, getting back to Minnesota, OKC, these are young teams. They're flashy teams. A team like Denver, I expect them to move up, maybe be the 1 seed. The Clippers are playing really good, but this is a team just like the Boston Celtics in the East. They have improved to me. Yeah, they have a winner on the team in Leonard, and I love the guy. It's one of my favorite players, a top 5 player for me. And they're having Westbrook finally come off the bench. But when the playoffs start, you're going to need 3 basketballs again for these guys. Their egos really start to take over, and I cannot see that team winning an NBA championship, let alone the West. So that's a team that I scratched off. So that's 3 of the 4 top teams right now that I scratched off. A team that I like that was a 7 seed, now they just moved up to 5, is the Sacramento Kings. They looked really, really, really good. They got in trouble in a Game 7 against the Golden State Warriors, which it shouldn't have been a Game 7, but I was really happy Golden State won because I hit my 8-team parlay for the first round. I got all of them right, and I can't really say that, so I am going to brag a little bit. Never did it before. I had the Heat beating the Bucks, and that was what catapulted that for a huge payout. So yeah, we'll be talking about that for years to come because I'm probably not going to do it again. But yeah, I like the Sacramento Kings. Phoenix Suns are a team that's on and off, but they're a team. Booker is another player that I can't see winning an NBA title. He has the best player on his team at Kevin Durant, but yet crunch time, he's going to try to take over a game, and he can't do it. He's going to take ridiculous shots. He's going to go 1 for 13 or 3 for 16 or whatever it is in one of the playoff games, and then if he goes to a Game 7, it's over. So right there, I just crossed off, 4 of the 6 teams. I don't see the Pelicans winning. I don't see the Dallas Mavericks winning. The Lakers could, get in there. If it was the Lakers and the Heat last year, I win a boat ton of money, man. Both number 8 seeds playing each other would have been phenomenal. But it didn't happen. Or I think the Lakers were 7 because they played in and they got in. But yeah, that being said, the Golden State Warriors are older. Klay Thompson's not hitting the shots anymore. They do have one of the best players in the world, best shooters, and then the rest of the teams are nothing. So that being said, I expect the Sacramento Kings to maybe move up a little bit. These teams are going to continue to win, to fight their way in, to get to that 4 seed, maybe that 3 seed. I don't see them getting the 3 seed right now, but the 4 seed is definitely within reach, only like 3 or 4 games out. So yeah, I like the Sacramento Kings, and I'll blab all day, but I like the Denver Nuggets. So the Sacramento Kings and Denver Nuggets in the West for me, and the Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks in the East. I switched it up to where I have all the combinations, the 4 combinations of those teams going forward in some big payouts, guys. Sacramento was like 66-1 on... I think it's DraftKings. DraftKings was 66-1. I'd lock that in. I make sure you're a member of all the sports books. DraftKings, they got the new ESPN Bet. They got FanDuel. They got PointsBet. I could name them all right here. There is Bet Rivers is one that's local here. They got Bet Online, MyBookie, Bet America, Bet MGM. But for the most part, you could throw most of those out because every day I check, and it's very, very seldom, so it's wasting my time to get maybe a point or something. So I really look at the top 4. It's ESPN, FanDuel, DraftKings, and PointsBet. Those 4 could be significant difference in odds. I mean, I've seen 10-1 to 22-1 on the Miami Heat to win the East. ESPN Bet is going to be your most popular one right now, obviously. I know you got FanDuel and DraftKings, but a lot of people are going to that one because of the bonuses. But the odds are way, way lower. So make sure you shop around for those. And then also when you're making these future plays, bet 2 tickets. So if you're going to bet 100, 2 $50 tickets. If you're going to bet 50, 2 $25 tickets. Because as you get closer to the playoffs, and if your teams get lucky and they're upsetting and winning, you cash one of those out right away. Boom, a few thousand for you in your pocket. Sit back, relax, enjoy the ride. But yeah, that's kind of what we're looking for here moving forward. There's a couple teams that, like I said, that I'm going to look at. I'm going to look to bet against Minnesota. I'm going to look to bet with Denver. I'm going to look to bet with Sacramento. And then I'm looking to bet with Boston, against Cleveland, with Milwaukee, and with Miami. Those are the games and the teams that I'm going to focus on moving forward into the playoffs. There's a good 7 teams there. One of them are probably playing every day. Stay away from the big point spreads and cash that in, guys. I'll try to make a video once the playoffs start, maybe a little bit before that. week before, try to get everything leveled out, see where we're at, see where our money's at, and good luck.